everybody, my name is Mary Stern. I'm a physiotherapist and owner of Blue Ridge Physio in North Vancouver. Today I want to talk about posture. It is something that people strive to improve, and why? Because it hurts sometimes to have bad posture, and also people have this intrinsic belief that better posture is going to lead to better ease of movement, maybe looks better, and you'll get rid of some of that tension that you feel. And for the most part, that is true, but I want to debunk some myths related to posture today, because I think it's so important for people to improve the ease of movement in their body, that they not try to find a rigid posture. But I also want to talk about my personal experience of being a hunchback. I'm going to call it a hunchback because it's super dramatic, and that truly is what I felt when I saw the pictures of me when I was in my early 20s. So I'm going to try to demonstrate for you what those pictures look like and why I was just so aghast, like, oh my God, why didn't anyone tell me that I look that way? So that was, just for context, about 25 years ago. Since then, I have improved my posture, improved chronic pain that I did have in my neck, in my back, in that period of time when I really didn't understand how my body worked and what I needed to do in order to create better alignment. So I want to share some of those secrets with you so that hopefully I can fast track you so you don't have to wait the 10 years that I had to wait and then becoming a physiotherapist to further improve it in order to educate myself and my clients. Hopefully you can figure that out a little bit sooner with some guidance from me and your own physiotherapist or trainer at home. So let's talk about a few different principles. So I'm going to show you what I look like, just to make it really clear how bad it can look. And so I'm coming out of the frame. I'm actually going to fix this frame for you, hopefully. A little bit here. I apologize for that. Okay, so here I am in my 20s. I see a picture and I'm like, are you kidding me? And actually, this is not even accurate. This was also how it was. So let's do this. I can't even do it. I can't even do it anymore, which is a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, I'm really, really pleased. So it's a little bit over lordotic here. This is where I found all my strength. Core, so belly was protruding. I'm going to protrude my belly here. And then I was in this kyphosis. So, you know, when it comes to Jenga, if anyone's ever played with Jenga blocks, sure, I had found a way to stabilize myself on my bones, on my ligaments, and to a degree with my muscles. But I was in pain here. I was in pain here. And then clearly with this picture, with the awareness of what I looked like, I was a little bit, in emotional pain from just seeing how bad it had gotten. So here I was. Now, fast forward hours and hours of yoga, self-awareness, meditation, and now my posture looks a little bit more like this. So this is my natural posture. Now, if you look at my posture, the most important question you can ask is, how does this person feel? And I can tell you that I feel balanced for the most part. I don't have pain here. I don't have pain here. Is it perfect? No, but that's not what we're going after. But ultimately, my core, my rib cage, for the most part, likes to line up with my pelvis so that my core can naturally engage. My shoulders are not too protracted. They're a little bit, but not too protracted, so that I'm using some of my back strength. Now, there are other people who have better stability through their scapulae, through their backbones than I do. But for the most part, this is a really balanced alignment and it works for me. Super, super happy to have cultivated it. But I want to let you know, so if you're sitting at home and you clicked on this because you thought, yes, posture, I want to improve it, please help me to do so. I want to tell you, first of all, the most important thing that you need to understand is it's not your genetics. Yes, I did say that. Now, another physio might kind of contradict me and say, yeah, to a degree, how your bones kind of lined up and kind of what you're born with there is a genetic component. And certainly when I look at my daughter, what do I see? I see a little bit of this for sure. But aside from genetics, there are so many components of that we can absolutely engage, alter, change in a way that's going to make you feel aligned, feel at ease. So when I say it's not just genetics, I don't mean there's not a genetic component, but I mean do not put yourself in the genetic box everybody in my family has it, therefore I cannot change. And it's so important for you to know that change is inevitable. It is not impossible. It is actually inevitable. Now, what do you need to improve your alignment? That is the sticky part. That is the tricky part. You need awareness. You need to know when your body is tensing up. Emotional awareness, physical awareness. So it is a journey. So you may get from A to B to Z being like the right alignment and posture for you quickly, but it may take you a little bit longer because maybe the environment that you have currently does not support really having awareness in your body. Maybe you're in such high stress for your job or in your relationships that for you to breathe and not be up here is not feeling okay. Maybe it's hard for you to unlock your hips because this feels like safety for you. Maybe you're doing a lot of forward bending and you need these muscles because otherwise you cannot sustain this forward bend. And so your core has not really yet learned how to engage. And so if you can't take away some of those environment factors, what you're doing every day and what the demands are of you, then it's going to be really difficult for you to make that change. So just know where you're at with that. So how did I change my posture? I feel like that's a really important thing to share. The first thing is I did a lot of yoga. So my first yoga experience, like one of my first yoga experience was insane. It was an Ashtanga yoga retreat. And if anyone's ever done Ashtanga, it's like yoga on, I want to say steroids, but I do want to say on Ritalin, maybe. It was like 1, 2, 3 counting, doing all these things that my body really wasn't ready to do. Now, when the yoga teacher said, downward dog is your resting pose, I want to show you what that looked like for me. So let's do a downward dog. And if you can see me in the frame, yes, you can. So I was like this, shoulders up to my ears. And I was like this, and I'm like, how in the world is this a resting pose? And my arms were unstable. I'm shaking. So what I didn't have is the openness in the shoulder girdle. I didn't have the stability, connection to my forearm muscles. I didn't have the mobility in my upper thoracic spine. And I didn't have the connection to my core or the length of my hamstrings. I didn't have any of it. But the yoga teacher couldn't necessarily explain that to me. And that is fine because yoga is a system. So through months and months of trying these things, did I immediately succeed? No. But what I did find is I got a little bit more open in the chest. Whew, I'm gonna have to catch my breath. I got a little stronger through the forearms. I learned how to connect to my thumb pads. That was the first thing because I was all in my wrists at first. If you've ever hurt your wrists at yoga, it's because you don't have that intrinsic connection. You want to have gecko hands. And then throughout the years, I also learned why I was holding things so tight. So it is going to be a journey for you, but how can you fast forward that journey? That's why I'm here to let you know that you need to have the belief in yourself that you can. And because whether you believe me or not in terms of how my posture looked, because I've experienced it, I want you to know that I get it. And it is absolutely possible, which is why I'm passionate about helping people to transform, not just with their sports injuries, not just with their post-surgical rehab as a physiotherapist. I also do see it is absolutely relevant to help people understand how to find more space in their bodies and alignment in their bodies so that they can breathe better, so that they can dance, so that if you're learning how to salsa dance and you're here, how are you going to be able to do twists when you're off kilter? If you think of the top, with finding your core, now you can find more stability and enjoy the things that you do, just for one example. So really understanding how this alignment works can become absolutely critical. So we're not going to cover everything today, and if you have any questions, please look in the comments below. I have my email there. You can also contact me and book online for an online consultation or in person, and we can talk a little bit more about how your body mechanics, how you physically can alter and fast forward a little bit of that alignment and change so that you feel better immediately, but also so that you're building the blocks towards just constructing a better you. And I would also love to hear from you in the comments and learn a little bit about your story and how you have kind of overcome some of the emotional things that maybe have kept you in this kind of tight, blocked system. So that's all for today. I wanted just to give you a little bit of a taster or a little teaser, and also just help you believe. My intention is for you to understand that you can transform a little bit, and to understand a little bit about why I believe it's possible. And I want to encourage you to really embrace the moment to moment awareness. And so if that awareness in the moment is that I'm really uncomfortable sitting at my desk like this, my shoulders are high, and there's a discomfort to that awareness, I want you to embrace that and realize that that is a building block. I want you to know that it is going to get easier and easier for you to find that space emotionally, physically, to recreate, to input things, so that the change that you inevitably will undergo isn't with the same programming, that it is with different programming. I hope this has been helpful. This is unscripted, so spontaneous. I apologize that if it's not sort of structurally step by step, but it is meant to be a little bit inspiration for you today, and I hope to connect with you again. So please do like and subscribe if you'd like to hear more. Thanks so much.